Hi, so I'm going to read another excerpt from my journal, and you'll notice it's just words or sentences. This is how I started my journaling. I just wrote thoughts down. I didn't actually write, long essays or anything like that because I just wasn't capable of that. And so I just wrote down all my thoughts, basically. So this is on the 16th of March last year. Just get over it. Nobody believes you. You can't count on anyone. Keep quiet. Stay invisible. Everybody's judging you. Hide. Nothing's going to change. You just need to survive. Why can't they do their jobs? I'm so tired. What is the point? Is this all there is? You're weak. Help me. Don't let them see your weakness. They're all liars. You can't count on them. Don't trust them. You'll never be happy. You'll always be alone. That is exactly how I felt on that day. Those were my thoughts. And looking at it from the perspective of myself now, I know that most of those aren't true. You'll always be alone? Well, that's not true. I've got my brother. I've got my dad. I've got my sister, I've got my best friends. I'm not alone. And I have gotten really good support from the people around me, which shows me that I'm not alone. And I am happy now. At that point, I thought I'd never find happiness. Thought it just wouldn't happen for me. But now I realize that it was always there. I just wasn't seeing it. And so it's so important to understand that thoughts are just thoughts and they're not always grounded in reality. And so when you have those dark thoughts, I hope that this podcast, or what I'm saying now, will help to guide you to know that you don't have to follow those thoughts and that they're not always true. You can be happy. I'm living proof of that. I was thinking about how do I talk people through what they can do for the recovery journey. And I came up with an acronym. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do an acronym. And it's called Saad. So S-A-A-D, Saad, which, doesn't sound wonderful, but considering the state of the people who are going through the recovery journey, it's very on point. So Saad stands for story, acknowledge, ask for help, decide what to address first. Well, that's just way too easy. The irony about the journey of recovery is that it is actually quite simple in the steps that we need to take. The thing that is really complicated about the recovery journey is undoing those thought patterns that we have had for our entire lives. That's where the hard work is. That's what we do in therapy. And also just on a day-to-day basis, through the actions that we take, the thoughts that we have, the way that we question our thoughts, and the things that we do to look after ourselves. So Saad, story, acknowledge, ask for help, decide what needs to be addressed first. So what's your story? What happened to you? Why are you on this journey of recovery? Is it that you had a meltdown at work? Or is it that a big event happened to you and now your world feels like it's crumbling? Or is it that you saw a post or a video on social media which made you think something's just not quite right? Whatever the reason for you being on the journey of recovery, I want you to know that you're not alone, that we are all here to support you. All of the people who have gone through this journey and are going through this journey, we all know how hard it can be, but we also know the rewards that you can reap at the end of it. So what is your story? Acknowledge that you are struggling. Acknowledge that you can't go on like this. Acknowledge that you are not happy. Acknowledge that you need to do something about it. Ask for help. One of the most difficult things about the recovery journey is learning to ask for help. A lot of times, people who have been traumatized tend to not rely on others because they think they can do it all themselves. What they don't realize is in order to have an effective recovery journey, we need to learn to ask for help. And this can come in a lot of different forms. It can be something simple as going to your friend and saying, I'm really struggling, I need your help. Or it can be making an appointment with your GP and telling them about the struggles that you are having. Or it can be reaching out to a stranger because you don't feel that you can tell the people closest to you. Or it can be contacting a mental health professional directly and asking for help. There are so many different types of help out there. There are organizations that pride themselves in helping to support people with mental ill health. A lot of organizations out there can help you for free. They know what resources you can use, and they just really want to help and support people. There are resources that are completely confidential, like Samaritans, where even if you phone them, there's no record of it anywhere. You can go to your workplace mental health first aider. They have access to a lot of different resources that could help you. Just having somebody there listening to what you're going through can be a really big help. Never underestimate the power of asking for help. And understand that this is something that is required. You cannot do a journey of recovery by yourself. You need help and support. So whether that is someone close to you or whether it's somebody who's not, know that it's okay to ask for help. Decide what to address first. When you're trying to recover from trauma, it can be really overwhelming. There's just so much to deal with. And when you have this kind of situation where you're really overwhelmed, that in itself can traumatize you. Be very careful about how you navigate your journey of recovery. And you need to realize that it's not a race. It is going to be a long process, and that you're not capable of doing everything at once. So you need to take it step by step. Deciding what to do next is all about breaking things down. You can't do everything. You just don't have the bandwidth. So you need to break it down. You need to just take one thing at a time and address that. For me, it was sleep. So I went to my doctor and I got them to give me sleeping tablets. And initially that helped me sleep. And while I was using those sleeping tablets, I formed a sleep hygiene process. The same as it's important to have personal hygiene, it is also important to have sleep hygiene. Our brain needs the time to get ready for sleep. It cannot just switch on and off. It needs the signaling that we are going to be resting so that it can start releasing the chemicals in order to help us to sleep the way that we need to be sleeping to recover our body. We don't just need any type of sleep. We need the right amount of sleep, and we need the right type of sleep. This goes through cycles through the night. And the only way our brain can sustain these cycles is if we have done our sleep hygiene process. And so that's how I started. The sleeping tablets were just there to help me to sleep initially. It was never the ultimate goal to always be on sleeping tablets. I just needed that temporary help so that I could work on my sleep hygiene process and build that habit so that when I weaned myself off the sleeping tablets, I was then able to sleep naturally and get the right kind of sleep. For you, it might be different. It might be something as simple as just trying mindfulness moments throughout the day. Or it might be restricting the amount of time you spend on social media. Social media can be really helpful, but it also can be very damaging. And so we need to understand that we really need to be looking at what are we doing on social media? How much time are we spending on it? And should we actually be spending that time doing something else that is better for our mental health and well-being? Sometimes it can be something as small as looking at your nutrition, looking at what you are eating throughout the day and changing your eating habits to make sure that you are having more healthy meals. And if you don't have the energy to cook meals, it might be hiring a company to make healthy meals for you. Or it might be temporarily living off processed meals. Just to take that burden off yourself that you don't have to worry about cooking, so that you can concentrate on the more important things. We need to be compassionate with ourselves. We need to understand that we are only human. And we need to understand that the journey of recovery is a step-by-step process. And a lot of it is showing kindness towards ourselves. So find that one thing that you feel that you will be able to change in a positive way and concentrate on just that. Once you've got that sorted, then address another thing. So just take it step by step and really just remember that you are not alone, that you have a supportive network, whether it's family or friends, or whether it's this podcast or my Discord channel. Recovering My Balance is an organization who wants to help you through your journey of recovery. And if you're not a person who's going through a journey of recovery, but you're someone supporting somebody who is going through this journey, I commend you for watching this podcast and wanting to help. And I want you to know that it is appreciated. They just might not be able to express it at this time. And in summary, Saad, what is your story? Acknowledge that you need to ask for help. Decide on what you're going to address first. I hope this podcast brings light in an otherwise dark world. My name is Balance Waldie, and I just want to thank you for listening to this podcast. Please do follow us on social media. Every time you subscribe or like a post, this helps us to spread the word and to help others on their journey of recovery.